What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, as you guys can tell, we are going to be changing out the oil onto my Tacoma. Cool thing about today is we're going to be using the MotivX tools, which allows us not to get super dirty when we change out the oil. It's also available for many other vehicles, so if you don't have a Tacoma, you guys can go ahead and purchase it. It'll be in the description box below. Let's go ahead and now get into the video and we'll show you guys what we have here and how it's going to be done. Before we get started into today's video, we just wanted to let you guys know, I'm sure you guys have seen many videos out on this, but if you guys haven't, that's why we're making today's video happen. One thing that I do want to let you guys know also before we get started is you want to go ahead and kind of place out your tools and your oil and everything that you're going to be using. As far as for me, I do have a handy dandy Mercedes-Benz certified technician right here with me, which is going to kind of be doing everything while I watch. So get yourself one of these. So the next thing you do want to go ahead and get is of course a drain pan, which is right here. I got this for super cheap on Amazon. You could get them on AutoZone or anything like that. This is just gonna kind of be where the oil does get placed when we drain it out. So you want something that's gonna be safe and doesn't spill all over the place. So of course, the next thing you're gonna wanna go ahead and do is go ahead and grab yourself the oil choice that you're gonna want. As far as for me, my oil has always been changed with Toyota, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that. The oil that I do have right here is gonna be the 0W20 from Toyota. You are also gonna need about 6.1 to 6.2 quarts on the Tacoma. As far as for me, what I have here is 7 quarts. Next thing you are gonna need, go ahead and get yourself your oil filter choice. Mine is gonna be Toyota brand, just because I want to keep it all Toyota, but you can go ahead and go with whatever you want. And you're also gonna need a drain plug seal, which is right here. You guys will see where this gets placed, but this is critical if you don't want your oil dripping out. The next big thing that you do want to go ahead and get is of course the tools. For me, what I ended up doing is getting this MotivX tools, which is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and crack it open for you guys, but I just wanted to let you guys know, having this specific tool is gonna help you guys out. That way you guys just do not make a mess. And another cool thing about this, literally anybody can do it. You see, even if you're a man and you don't want to get dirty, say you need to go into an interview or something like that right before, this is the way to go. Is that better?
Yes, it is.
The cool thing about this is the oil filter tool that comes with it. It's super good quality, it's super heavy. You guys will see it of course in person if you end up getting it, and there's a bunch of grooves in here. Some of the other aftermarket ones that you guys get, there's not those grooves, and basically what that does is it just kind of helps lock in the oil filter when you're taking it off. That way you don't strip it. The next thing that comes inside is going to be this right here, which you guys will see what this does, but this is basically what's going to help you so that way you guys don't make a mess. This is freaking awesome. Whoever created this was just, they're smart. The next thing that it does come with is going to be this filler right here. Basically it's going to be the same pitch and thread as your oil cap. So you're going to take your oil cap off, screw this in there, and then this is where you're going to basically put your oil in through, so you will never have a mess in your engine bay when you're filling it up. What's the next thing we're going to need?
You ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
She ready?
I think so.
Am I ready?
I hope so.
Is the truck ready?
Truck's never ready.
Good. So Jesse showed the kind of tools that he got. These are the tools that I'm gonna show. You are gonna need a set of sockets, a extension, a 3/8 extension, a 3/8 ratchet for the socket to crack open the drain bolt, and also for us, since Jesse does have the CBI skid plates, you are gonna need a 3/16 Allen key, and I'm just using a little 1/4-inch ratchet here because that is the same size as the key that I have here.
Let's go.
Let's get dirty. Okay, so first things first, you're gonna want to get your car up on a ramp so that you cannot reach the oil. Just kidding, Jesse just wanted to show off. But you are gonna want to first remove your oil cap. The reason you do this, or at least the reason I do this, is that at the dealer, this reminds me, hey, put oil in the damn car before starting it. Then, once you got that done, like I said, Jesse does have his CBI skid, so you are gonna get your 3/16 Allen key, and we're gonna get the access panels off. Now, depending on how raised your vehicle is, you might be able to do this with the car still on the ground, but like I said, Jesse wanted to show off his fancy new ramp, his fancy new Beast Fab ramp, I should say. So we have this access port here and another one here. This front one is going to be for the oil filter, and this back is going to be for the oil drain. So this is where your 3/16 Allen is going to come in. You're just going to take off these 4 Allen bolts here. Alright guys, so at this point we are under the vehicle. Now here, you are going to want the vehicle leveled, or maybe the right side have it higher than the left. And the reason I say that is if you look at the oil pan and see where the oil drain plug is, you can see that the drain plug is on the left side of the pan. Now the reason I say you would want the right side a little bit higher than the left is so that way all the oil can collect on the left side of the pan and drain out of that hole. Now, like I said, you can either have it leveled and that will work just as fine as well. At this point, you're going to get your socket with your extension, and we're going to be using a 14 millimeter here. And this is where you're going to want to get your drain pan also. So at this point, we are going to be removing the drain bolt, which is right here specifically for those of you that don't know. We're going to remove that, and as the oil is draining, we're going to be working on removing the oil filter that's right here and getting that replaced. Hola, soy Dora. At this point, we have our drain pan here right under. Now, you guys probably aren't going to be able to see what I'm doing exactly because we do not want to get the camera dirty. But all I'm going to be doing is putting the wrench on the bolt and loosening it. So once it's loose, that's when I'm going to start using my hand. At this point, you can wear gloves if you would like. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start loosening it, and once I feel it that it's gonna come off, I'm gonna very quickly grab the bolt and move it out the way to minimize me getting dirty. Jesse, you wanna be careful because this is hot and I don't wanna get the camera dirty. And that is why we wear, ow! Bolt, come here. Why did it splash everywhere, Jesse?
You tell me. You released it. Did you do this wrong?
No, it splashed because when it hit this is a crappy pan.
It is. It was cheap.
Oh my god.
Ugh. So does that look like good oil or is that bad oil?
Oh, it looks like off-road oil.
Okay, just checking.
Okay guys, so at this point, while the oil is draining, we are gonna start removing the filter. Now, the nice thing about draining the oil first and then getting to the filter is that by the time you're done with the filter, you'll be good on the oil part. As you can see right now, we are only getting drips. If you get a factory Toyota one, or even some aftermarket ones for that matter, they're gonna come with this tool. Now, this is to drain the oil filter. In the middle, we're gonna show you later, there's gonna be a little plug. You're gonna insert this into a plug, and then the oil is going to drain through the center part. Now, the nice thing about the MotivX toolkit is that it comes with this hose for that filter. Now, if you see here, you're going to see if I turn it to the right, it's going to expose these holes here. And then that's what's going to allow the oil to drain out once it is released. Now, when you want to use this, you're going to want those holes to be covered just like this. And that is going to be how we're going to start with this. Now, I'm going to show you that again. Left is going to be all the way down. And if you turn it to the right, it's going to start exposing those holes. Now, as I said, when you start this, you are going to want those holes all the way out. So that way, oil doesn't come out before you're ready. So now we're going to get under the vehicle. We're going to show you how to swap out the filter.
And we're just gonna throw this one away.
Okay, at this point, we're gonna get to the filter. Now you're gonna grab your 3/8 ratchet with your extension. Now, the reason you're gonna need this is the 3/8 drive here, this part, is gonna fit inside of the filter here. And that is where we're gonna drain the filter from. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your extension, put it in there just like that, and then loosen it up. Okay, so that's loose. Please don't drip. Like, I trust you, but I don't trust the car. So as you can see here, this is the little cover that's there for the oil filter, and this goes here. Now at this point, I'm screwing the MotivX tool into the filter here. Now you don't want to go too tight, you just want it snug. The O-rings are gonna keep it from leaking out. What you're gonna do is this hose is gonna go into your drip pan. And that's the nice thing about this kit is that you only need one drip pan to do this, where normally you would have one drip pan under the oil pan and then another one here under the filter. So now what I'll do is I'll just tighten it to the right, as we said, to open it up. And there you go. There goes all that oil that was in the filter.
Damn, super simple.
Then you just wait for that to finish.
As you guys can see it, he screwed in the top part here into the actual oil filter, and then the last thing he screwed was this bottom half of it, and that's what released all the oil into the pan. just in case you guys were curious. I know we explained it off the car, but just so you guys kind of see it in the real world. And don't mind this, like we were saying, this oil that just spilled out, some of it was from another car, not my truck, and then some of it that did fall is just because I have a cheap oil drain pan. So you do want to kind of get a better one, or at least a bigger one. Mine's kind of small. It's really meant for cars, not my truck. So just to let you guys know about this, it shouldn't happen to you guys.
Okay guys, so as you can see here by the tube, there's no more oil coming out. So what I'm gonna do now is I am gonna close off the hose at this point, the bottom part to the left, and then you remove this tool out of the filter by also turning it left. Now, there is going to be just a little bit of residual in the hose, as you guys can see here. Just try to be careful not to drip it everywhere. Now what we're going to do is I'll put this on a towel just to minimize spillage, and at this point we are going to get the oil filter tool that came with the kit. We're going to use the MotivX oil filter tool. Now as you can see here in this hole, it also has a 3/8 inch drive, so it's going to fit perfectly on the extension here, just like so. So this is going to fit perfectly on the filter, as you can see there. So now same thing, lefty loosey. Oh, it's tight. Oh my god, this is tight. Yep. Those Toyota Techs, man. 25 Newton meters. This is not 25 Newton meters. I'm telling you that right now. Filter's never been removed.
And how many miles do I have?
I don't know. Toyota. 30. No, you're after warranty, so you're at least at 40.
I'm at 55.
Toyota. Literally, I had this on here and I blew my back out. I needed like a ½ inch to take this. Dude, look at it, it's still fucking tight. Okay, filter's out. Now that you guys have your filter out, you're gonna get this filter element, throw that away, and right here at the very bottom of the threads, you're gonna see this O-ring here. You're gonna take that off. Same thing, you're gonna throw that away. And here on this ridge that you can see there, that's where the new O-ring's gonna go. Your filter element, it's gonna pop in right there, and then you're gonna get your O-ring,
which comes provided in here.
With your new O-ring, you're just gonna put it right here. Like I said, you're gonna put it down into that ridge and make sure it's down all the way. And one thing that I do is you can either get some new oil, or you can just get some of the oil that was residual inside and just kind of spread it around the O-ring, just so when you tighten it, it's not going in dry. Now, as you guys did notice, or might have noticed, there is another O-ring that's gonna go on the plug on the bottom that we're gonna put on after once this is on. So now let's get this back onto the car. As you guys can see here on the oil filter, it will say tighten to 25 Newton meters. Now if you have a torque wrench, that's going to be perfect, so you can do it exactly to 25 Newton meters. I do usually have a feel for these, so I kind of know when to stop to where it won't be over tightened.
But for you people at home, don't do that.
Yeah, it's best to get a torque wrench, but yeah, get a torque wrench. So starting off, you are just going to want to put it in hand tight to make sure you do not cross thread it. And then once you're to the point where you cannot tighten it by hand anymore, that's when you're gonna get your tool again that you use to take the filter off. And then we're just gonna tighten it. And as we said before, and like I said, it is on the filter, you're only gonna tighten this up to 25 Newton meters. At this point, we are gonna get the other O-ring that comes provided in the box. And like I said, this is gonna go where this plug was, that's where this O-ring is gonna go. So if we look into the oil filter housing, just like on the oil filter, there's gonna be these ridges around this bronze part, and this O-ring right here is gonna sit right in there. So as you can see here, right in that ridge, that is where the O-ring is gonna sit. Now that it's in there, now we can put back our oil filter drain plug. And same thing, you are just gonna wanna do this by hand until you cannot anymore. Then with our 3/8 extension again, so this one for the plug, you're just gonna want it snug. Now as you can see here, we have the new washer and the washer that is on the drain plug already. All we're gonna do is simply slide this off and install the new one, just like that. Now, make sure you ask wherever you buy this from if it's included, because when Jesse ordered his wasn't included with his oil filter. He did have to buy that separate. But we do highly recommend you get it, because this will help seal it in case the old one was not sealing properly. These are one-time use for the most part. And this one, we're same thing as coming off. To put it on, this we're going to torque it to 30 foot-pounds or 40 newton meters, whichever one you like to use. Now we're gonna get the drain plug, and just like the oil filter, we're just gonna start it by hand. So you can see here, hopefully. Is that better?
Yeah, way better.
Okay. So now that I can't tighten it no more, now at this point, if you have a torque wrench, you would get your torque wrench, and like I said, it's either gonna be 40 newton meters or 30 foot-pounds. You do wanna clean it since you are down here. Maybe make it a little nice, just like that. Kind of. Maybe. Am I going too much, Jesse, or is this good?
No, I want you to go in depth. Just wash the whole truck.
The whole underbody?
The whole underbody, please.
Okay.
A little more. You missed the spot. Oh, there you go. You see? Yep, get it.
Oh, that's
there.
a scratch. That ain't coming off.
Oh, that's okay. Wow, look at you.
We're gonna start putting the doors back for the CBI skid plate. Now, this is gonna be different if you have the factory skid plate.
And then after we finish this up, what's next?
We're gonna fill it up and clear the oil maintenance code.
And we're gonna show you guys.
So this is the MotivX funnel here. In the box, you saw us like kind of screw it together. It does come in two separate pieces. What's nice about this is that it screws directly into the factory filler neck, as you can see there, making fill up very easy and mess free. And this is also why, like I said earlier in the video, keep the oil filter out, because this reminds you, hey, there's no oil in this. Let's fill it up, Jesse. Where's the oil, Jesse? Yeah. So today we are using Toyota SAE 0W20 synthetic motor oil, aceite sintético, aceite para motores de gasolina.
Wow.
4 gasoline engines.
Jeez.
American Petroleum Institute certified. Certified like me.
Anything else?
Content.net 946 milliliters, almost a liter.
And then?
1 US quart.
Ooh, yes.
I'm a Mercedes texter.
And I'm
so
a
once we fill this Toyota up with oil, it's gonna blow up because the wrong people are working on it.
That could be happening.
you had a German tech working on a Japanese vehicle.
And a German advisor advising for a Toyota truck.
This car's gonna blow up soon. Yep. You should have taken this to the Toyota dealership where they over tighten your oil filter.
Should we say the name and put them on the spot, or should we leave it alone?
Nah, because I still have maintenance service with them.
All right, we'll leave it alone.
Yeah, we'll leave it alone for now.
Okay.
After this one, actually I'll probably only do half.
Why half? It's supposed to be 6.1 to 6.2.
How much was left in the engine? Do you know if we got every single little dropout?
Touche.
Yep. So when you get close, what I like doing is I don't like putting in exactly how much it needs. Once I start getting close to how much it needs, what I do is I will get a towel. So with the truck on a leveled surface, what you're gonna do is with it close to the fill level, you're gonna clean this off, and as you can see here, there's gonna be 2 dots. You're gonna want it at about 3/4 to the full mark. You do not want it over, and you do not want it under half. That's gonna be the danger zone. So what we're gonna do is with the dipstick clean, put it down all the way and take it out. So now checking it, as you can see here, we are right in between the 3/4 mark and the full mark. So that would be perfect for us. For you guys, like I said, keep the vehicle on a leveled surface. If you got to add a little bit more, add a little bit more. If you're a little bit over, then unfortunately you're gonna have to get the drain plug out and drain some of the oil out. With that, and that is a big reason why I say make sure you're under, because once you're over, you pretty much got to do this whole thing over again with the drain plug. You'd rather be under, add a little bit, check, add a little bit, check, add a little bit, check, until you're right in that area right there. Now that we have all our oil in and we check the level and we know that it's good, there might be a little bit of residual oil here on the bottom. So what you're gonna do is, like, as you're screwing it off, you're just gonna get a little rag here, Just kind of make sure we get no drips here. And as you can see, there's hardly any down there. So you probably won't get a drip, but it's just to keep everything clean. And now you'll put your cap back on. Don't over tighten it.
Like who did it?
Toyota.
Exactly. So what's next?
Now we're gonna reset his light. Okay guys, so now that we have drained and filled the oil and replaced the filter, we're now gonna reset the maintenance service on the dash. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna double click on your start button to get your vehicle into position 2, as you can see here indicated by all the lights that turn on. Now that we have the middle screen on, we're gonna go to the back till we get to the main screen here. Now that we're on the main screen, I'm gonna use the directional button until I get to the little gear here indicated from there up top, and we're gonna scroll up and down until we get to the settings. When we have it on the settings on this knob here, we're gonna press the center button. Then we're gonna start scrolling down or up or wherever you see it until you get to the maintenance reset. Same thing, using the little directional pad that you have on your steering wheel. Once you're on maintenance reset, you're gonna hit the center button again. That came up, so we're gonna hit the center button on maintenance reset. We're gonna hit yes to reset the maintenance reminder. We're gonna hit the center button again, and just like that, the maintenance reset is complete. We can hit the back arrow until we get back to the main menu again, and then you can go back to whichever menu you'd like, whether it was the fuel economy, the tire pressure, the warnings, or whichever one you had it on before.
Fuel economy to see how miserable I am.
Now, one thing that I always do before I actually start driving the vehicle is I'll do a quick start it for a couple seconds, and then I turn it off. And I do that just as a safety thing. I will go under the hood and I'll make sure that there's no major leaks, because you never know, you might have left something a little bit loose, and that's a good way to check it, just by giving it a quick on, let everything pressurize, turn it off, go check, and you know everything is good. That's the procedure for changing your oil with the MotivX tools. Now I will say this again, please dispose of your oil properly. That's why we kept these bottles, so we can put it all in here. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take it to a dealership, and I'm gonna take care of it for Jesse. But if not, you can actually take this to a lot of auto parts stores. They will dispose of it for you. And if I remember correctly, some fire departments might be able to dispose of this for you too. But for that, I would call auto parts store. Is going to be your best luck for that.
Heck yeah. And once again, we wanted a note on the oil spillage. That's 100% my fault, because I did get a small oil drip pan. So make sure to get a bigger one. How big?
Probably like a 10-quart one.
Okay, yeah. I got one for a car, so that's 100% my fault. But overall, I think this did the job, don't you think so?
It did a job.
It did the job. So yeah, so if you guys do end up wanting to go ahead and purchase this bad boy here, we've linked it down in the description box below, along kind of with the oil that we used today and the tools. So if you guys want it, check it out. And don't forget, let's go ahead and get at Raventure, which is Steve right here, to 1,000 followers on Instagram. Go check him out. Follow his page on his badass RAV4 build. If you guys did like today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Big things are coming.
Big things are coming, like St. George in Utah.
I was talking about the long travel, but okay.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you, Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.